Hi, everybody. This is Shawna Audet from the Flying Cat Academy. Welcome to the Guided Reading Remediation program. This program is intended for teachers to use with individual students who are suffering from reading failure, or with small groups of students if they have similar ability level. Solving reading problems begins with using an effective reading program. Effective reading programs share some common qualities. They are intensive, progressive, systematic, focus on phonics, and they are individualized. The program that we will use for the Guided Reading Remediation program was created by the Dyslexia Training Institute, which runs out of the University of San Diego. They created the scope and sequence, which you will download under the Let's Get Ready section on the webpage. And this is the closed syllable progression. You're going to refer back to this page frequently in the pages that are following. And as I introduce a concept in the lesson, you will mark down that it was introduced on a certain date. When you notice that the student is gaining fluency with that concept, you'll mark it down here. And when you see that they've mastered a skill, you'll mark it here. The lessons that I've created follow this scope and sequence. And once we're finished with the closed syllable, we'll move on to the open syllable, and you will download the next scope and sequence. And we'll follow that pattern for all 7 syllable types. The other document that you'll need to download is the lesson overview. There are 116 lessons that I've created for you. And when you teach a lesson, you will download the resources in advance, and that will give you all the handouts that you need plus your lesson plan. And then there will be a watch video link, and the video link will be me guiding you through every step of the lesson. The idea is that as you gain proficiency with the different drills, your comfort level will increase to a point where you will want to take the reins. For this reason, I've included instruction sheets. Many of them are scripted so that you can do the drills with your student on your own. But there's no rush for that. I'm right here with you, and I will be there. And once you gain proficiency and you want to start trying these drills on your own, you can fast forward me to the next part of the lesson. I would recommend that you always use me for the new teaching section when it's time to teach new content. The Dyslexia Training Institute program is sequential in that it follows a logical order. We teach by syllable type. It is progressive in that we work from the simple to the complex. So that what I mean by that is we'll begin by working on sounds, single words, and connected text. We also will focus on multi-sensory teaching skills. So we'll work in a multi-sensory way and then work with single words and then connected text in every lesson. And we'll do that with reading and writing. Another aspect of the program is that we individualize it. The way that you can do this through the guided lessons is that as you're ticking off when the student masters the different skills, I've built review lessons into my lesson overview. And if you feel like your student doesn't need the review lesson because they've already mastered that skill that we're reviewing, then you can just move on to the next lesson. So some students may finish the program. I think an average student might finish it in about 105 lessons. And other students may need to complete all of the lessons. We also want to make sure that this program is intensive. By that I mean that each lesson will run from 45 to 60 minutes, and you want to make sure that you do 2 or 3 lessons per week. 1 lesson a week is not enough. The student will forget too much in between lessons. So we want this to be effective. We want it to work. So that intensive element is important. You also want to make sure that you complete the entire lesson. So in every lesson, we have a drill section, a new content/reading section, and a writing section. And you're just keeping an eye on the time, thinking, okay, I want to keep about 15 minutes in each section. And if you get to the writing section and you find you're running out of time, then just start the writing section the next day and make sure you've completed the entire lesson before you move on to the next one. So I guess what I'm saying is don't get rid of the writing section if you feel like there's not enough time. Make sure that you honor the writing section because we want the student to be able to read and to write by the end of this. In my lessons, I follow the Orton-Gillingham teaching method. I rely on multi-sensory teaching strategies, and I focus on phonics. The emphasis is on decoding and encoding skills. One thing that you need to know about the Orton-Gillingham method is that while it is excellent at solving phonemic awareness and decoding issues, it does not address fluency. So once the student has mastered phonemic awareness and they're very solid on their decoding, we have to move on to teaching fluency. When we come to that point, you will have to add in a secondary program. I like to use the 6-minute reading solution or Read Naturally. Those are two excellent reading fluency programs, and I'll show you how to use them once we get to the point where we can add those in. So let's do a quick check to make sure that you've got everything you need before you begin lesson number 1. You should have gathered your resources, and the resources are all listed on the website. You should download the scope and sequence for the closed syllable, download the lesson overview, and then take the steps to complete the core phonics survey with your student. This is a 20-minute survey that will enable you to find the gaps in the student's learning. This will allow us to target our teaching. This is part of that individualized element because different students are going to need specific instruction on different sounds. Some will have mastered some sounds and others will need work on others. So that you'll do the core phonics survey, and then you are ready to begin lesson number 1. Before you click on the watch video, though, you will download the resources that you need. Okay, I'm so excited to work with you. This has been Shawna Audet from the Flying Cat Academy.